Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we showed off this really fun team with Pokemon like Tsareena, Talonflame, and Raichu, so we'll be playing a couple more games with it today. You can learn more once again in the description below. It was built and used by a player called Fiona, who was able to win a really big online grassroots tournament this last weekend. Our Twitter is linked in the description below, and it is a rental team, so feel free to try it out yourselves. I'm still trying to get the hang of it. I played a couple games before recording this just to try to get a better understanding of it, because I feel like I've not been doing the team really that much justice, but we'll see how the games go today. It definitely has a lot of really strong options, and I'm excited to play more with it. So let's get into it. Really cool team for the first game today. Actually is giving me throwbacks to that match, the WBE match this last weekend, because there's a Gothitelle and a Durant, which is very terrifying. So this is where Talonflame's interesting, because Talonflame has Heat Wave, so it can just, knock out the Durant. And I could actually maybe bring Tsareena here just for two reasons. I think Tsareena actually really valuable here now that I think about it, because we have Queenly Majesty, so we can block Fake Out. So, for example, if my opponent leads, I actually even might want to lead Tsareena. The only problem with Tsareena Talonflame is if it's a Gothitelle Arcanine lead. But Tsareena can U-turn out, right? Yeah, so that's pretty valuable as well. Tsareena, Talonflame, I think Urshifu, and then one of Lapras or Duraludon. The reason I want to lead Tsareena and Talonflame is so that I can just go... I could also lead Raichu Talonflame, I guess. But with Tsareena Talonflame, I can just U-turn Heat Wave turn 1 if my opponent leads Gothitelle Durant. Tsareena Talonflame, Urshifu, and the last one's between Lapras and Duraludon. I'm leaning towards Lapras a little bit more. Let's go with Lapras. The main reason I want to lean towards Lapras here is because the Amoonguss is kind of scary, so I can, get super effective damage off against Amoonguss, but we'll see. Really cool team from my opponent's end. I'm excited to see what it can do. So let's get into today's episode. As always, if you enjoy, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. And question of the day, I'm curious what everyone's favorite Gen 8 Pokemon is. The reason I asked that is because Duraludon is my answer, and it's been a while since we've been able to use Duraludon, so let me know in the comments below. It's going to be Gothitelle and Amoonguss. Okay. So this is interesting. You can't Fake Out. You obviously have to worry about Brave Bird. I think it's almost definitely Trick Room going up here. So I want to Taunt into the Gothitelle and just U-turn out. Taunt, U-turn. Nice lead by my opponent. They're clearly going with the Trick Room route. Trick Room plus, the Gigalith is what I'm expecting. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Taunt U-turn turn 1. You can't Fake Out right now. Of course, Amoonguss could Rage Powder. I think Amoonguss might want to consider protecting, but that is fairly risky. It does go for the Rage Powder, so that's a safe play on my opponent's end. I think that's well done, but I don't want to just give my opponent Trick Room up for free. If I knock out Amoonguss and let Trick Room go up, that's really bad, because then you just get Gigalith in. But it's Mental Orb! Oh no! That's disastrous. That's really bad. Okay. I think I'm gonna go out into Urshifu here. Oh man. That was a really good play by my opponent turn 1. I mean, I could go into Lapras, but the thing is, if I go into Lapras, you're just gonna Spore me, right? Well, I guess the question is how much Brave Bird does into Amoonguss. I don't know if it's enough for a KO. So, I'm actually gonna go out into Urshifu first. Mental Orb. Nice. Well played. I could have gone Heat Wave there. If I Heat Wave, for example, then this next turn is actually not bad, because then I can just Brave Bird, double up onto the Amoonguss slot. Now, I can't go for a Brave Bird this turn, so I'll probably want to Brave Bird into Amoonguss. Question is what to do with Urshifu. I think it's likely we end up getting Spored here. But I could Wicked Blow, which covers the option of Amoonguss switching out. And maybe Amoonguss doesn't have that much defense investment. Maybe it's special defense instead of defense. I still don't think Brave Bird KOs, but we'd have to see. But that was a really nice turn 1 from my opponent's end. I think our lead was okay. And the downside for my opponent now is that their duo is really passive in terms of damage output. It's not going to do very much to us. However, Spore is a problem. And that's the tricky thing about best of 1 against the Amoonguss. It could be Koba, Akka, Mental Orb, Focus Sash. Those are all viable items. A Bulky Berry. Gothitelle switches out. Is that going into Gigalith? Primarina, okay. So this is where, Tsareena and Lapras in the back could still be valuable for us. But that's a great play by my opponent. I walked into that one. Oh, and I could have doubled up onto the Gothitelle, or the, yeah. Like, if I double up onto the Gothitelle, oh, I guess Wicked Blow still goes through Protect, actually. Never mind. I forgot about that. And it's sashed. It's not sashed. It's invisible sash. Okay, that honestly worked out a lot better than I expected. I totally forgot about us being able to attack through Protect, so we take those. That's actually so good for us, because now I can just launch Brave Bird into the Amoonguss slot. I think Amoonguss probably switches out, but Talonflame's not really doing anything of value here anyway for me at this point. I kind of want to conserve Urshifu, though, right? My opponent doesn't have any... Well, Primarina's the Dark Resist. Maybe I Brave Bird Primarina to put it in max Overgrowth KO range. No, I think it's still better to target Amoonguss. I don't know if that switch locked in on time, but to be honest, I think I'd rather have Urshifu faint. Yeah. I think it's fine to give up... Oh, they didn't max Primarina. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, losing Urshifu here isn't that bad. I actually go for Hyper Voice. That doesn't KO us. Okay, nice. Yeah, I was like going for the switch out into Tsareena, but I think either switching out into Tsareena or just staying in is fine, and it actually works out better that we stay in. So we get a Wicked Blow against Primarina. Choice Band Urshifu is so good, right? It's doing so much damage here. So Gigalith could come in. I think I want to bring out Lapras first. Yeah. Because they didn't max. Okay, they didn't max Primarina, which makes me think obviously they want to max the last Pokemon. If Gigalith comes out, you can Rock Fall though into Tsareena, or Lapras, which is pretty scary. So perhaps we go into Tsareena first. Yeah. Yep, there's Gigalith. I don't know. Is this a max Tsareena kind of game? It might be. I'm worried about self Aqua Jet now into Gigalith to activate a weakness policy. That would be scary. Unfortunately, there's still 2 turns of Trick Room, right? Yeah. 2 turns of Trick Room. How fast is Tsareena? It's going to be faster than Primarina. How do I play this out? I'm leaning towards maxing Tsareena here, going for Overgrowth onto Gigalith, and switching out into Lapras. But that might not be the correct play, because if you just target down the Lapras slot, my Urshifu can't protect, right? So then it has to play the last turn under Trick Room. The reason I'm going for this is because if Lapras survives this turn, then the next turn I can just max guard, sacrifice Lapras, get the Urshifu back in, and then just close combat max Overgrowth to finish the game. So this play can work out. It's a little risky. I just think Urshifu's better for this late game. But we'll see. Like if my opponent has if they went Self Aqua Jet, for example, and target the Lapras slot, that's bad. They could have also Rock Fall that slot. Ideally, my opponent's Rock Falling into Tsareena right now. And just Moonblasting into Urshifu. But we get to Dynamax Tsareena, which is already pretty cool, because that's what I wanted to do with this Pokemon. So, well, we finally get to feature a game with that. Alright, let's see. Okay, no Self Aqua Jet. That's what we want to see. It's Max Knuckle, but that's fine. Oh, if Max Knuckle Moonblast KOs, that's actually not fine. Oh. But, I mean, Tsareena doesn't end up taking any damage. Okay, Moonblast goes into Tsareena. Nice. That's huge. I think that actually wins us the game. Yeah, this is what I was going for. Yeah. I mean, it's probably policy Gigalith, but, like, that's fine, right? Because, like, now both of my opponents are going to just... Pokemon are just going to be in KO range from Tsareena plus... what was I saying? Tsareena plus the Urshifu. Okay, I was worried about a double up onto the Urshifu slot, but I thought it'd be relatively unlikely, because now I can just go for... Okay, Lapras is faster than the Primarina, so that's also good to know. There's no reason to not double protect here, especially because now I've set up the Grassy terrain, so once Tsarena's max is over, I can actually just click Grassy Glide as well, which is sick. So we finally get to feature Tsareena in its maximum potential. Yeah, let's just Max Guard and Protect here. Actually, I don't mind giving up the Lapras here. Because then I just get Urshifu, right? And then I just click Banded Close Combat into Gigalith. Max Overgrowth into Primarina. My only fear is if Primarina Primarina's not doing much damage in a Tsareena anyway, though, right? I mean, we're definitely max guarding here. The question is whether there's... My only fear is, like, let's say... Do I think it's Assault Vest Primarina? Hyper Voice, Moonblast? I don't know. I mean, I think the Rockfall or Knuckle goes into Lapras anyway, so I don't think it really makes a difference. Yeah, let's just get the free switch in Urshifu. Actually, because Wicked blows a KO into Primarina with the crit anyway, right? Oh, they actually switched out. Oh, interesting. That denies me the free switching into Urshifu, unless they KO the Lapras here. Oh, they're going for the KO into Lapras. Okay, we win anyway then. Oh. I see what they're going for. I think they switch into Gothitelle for Ally Switch. Oh man. Actually, that's a great play on my opponent's end. I mean, if they don't have Ally Switch, I think they lose. Maybe it's fine anyway. Okay, let's actually use this time to think, because obviously I have to bring out Urshifu. So with Gothitelle, you can go for Fake Out onto Urshifu, but then Overgrowth will just knock out the Gigalith. It's just the Ally Switch, man. It's just the Ally Switch that I'm worried about. It might have been better to just have knocked out the Primarina earlier on with Overgrowth. So I'm using the maximum amount of time to think right now because I want to think of all my options. My opponent could go Max Guard Trick Room. They could go Fake Out and attack, or Ally Switch Protect, or Ally Switch Attack. I think those are all the options that can happen right now. So in times like this where like literally the game time's going to run down anyway, you might as well just use it to like think about what you could do more. I don't think Crit Wicked Blow KOs the Gigalith from that range, which is part of the problem. Does it? I don't know. Crit Band? So, like, obviously I want to just Overgrowth into Gigalith. Actually, Overgrowth into Gigalith is fine, right? Because, oh, you can't even Fake Out right now. Yeah, I forgot about that. You can't even Fake Out right now. I think their play is to Ally Switch then, actually. I don't think Gothitelle can touch Urshifu, so I'm actually going to lock myself into close combat because I don't think Gothitelle can do damage against Urshifu because we're dark. So this covers for the Ally Switch option. Oh, they forgot about Queenly Majesty. That works too. I actually forgot about Queenly Majesty as well, so can't really fault them for that. But I wanted to, yeah, have an option against Ally Switch there. So that covered all my bases, actually. Because Gothitelle's never going to have an attack. Do we... I mean, the problem is we are locked into Choice Band close combat now. So, like, Wicked Blow obviously would have secured the game up for us here. But I think we're still fine because we have... I think we're still fine. I don't think close combat actually KOs Primarina, though. And the Gothitelle is the berry. So maybe this isn't over yet. Yeah. I mean, Tsareena was amazing for us in this match. Yeah, I don't think Moonblast KOs us. And close combat should be a 2-hit KO onto the Primarina anyway. So I think we're fine. Like, obviously I could have gone Wicked Blow there, but if Crit Wicked Blow doesn't KO and you go Ally Switch Rockfall, I think we just lose. So I do not want to risk that. Close combat should be a 2-hit KO onto the Primarina. This is a really intense game. I don't want to risk missing. 2 turns of Sand, 2 turns of Terrain, -1 Speed Def. I think just Glide into Primarina. Wait. Oh, 2 turns of Terrain, right? So they could stall out my Terrain, so we should probably deny the Trick Room from going up. I mean, I'm leaning towards Glide Primarina, Close Combat Gothitelle. But I think maybe gliding into Gothitelle, close combating into Primarina is fine. Okay, neither Pokemon protect. Oh no, that didn't KO. I thought that would KO. Oh, never mind. Urshifu's great and just knocks out Primarina anyway. Okay. So we were fine there, actually. My opponent didn't really have any options. I just wasn't sure if Close Combat was actually KOing because Wicked Blow earlier with the crit did, like, what, 50%? But yeah, it's just Psyche coming out. Okay, so I think this endgame covered for all our bases, but that was scarier than it needed to be. We saw Fake Out Psychic Trick Room, so we never saw the 4th attack. I would think it's Ally Switch. I could obviously power... Okay, so the one... Actually, no, because Close Combat goes through Protect anyway, I think, and we knock out Primarina there, I think we're always fine. Because if you Ally Switch, then Primarina just faints. If you don't Ally Switch, yeah. So we actually pinned our opponent, but I wasn't sure about the CC calc into the Primarina, which was the main problem. That was one heck of a match, though. But glad we finally get a great match with the Tsareena in, because this is a really cool Pokemon. You just have to bring it into the right matchups, and this was literally the perfect matchup for it, where it had my opponent had 2 Pokemon that I had super effective damage against in Primarina and Gigalith, and they had Amoonguss, which, you know, can't spore us, and we have U-turn into the Gothitelle. So Queenly match, like, that's what I was saying earlier. In playing with this team, I think one thing that I haven't really been doing is utilizing the Tsareena just as a way to deter Fake Out, because you can lead... Oh my god, this team is sick. Froslass. Froslass, I don't think anyone or most people don't know this, but I actually used Froslass in like 2009 when I was starting out in VGC. I didn't get to play in any tournaments that year because back in the day, there were only like regionals and then nationals, and the regionals were like lottery based. And so I felt so good about my play that year, but I couldn't play because I didn't get selected via the lottery, and I was super, super bummed out. But I had a Froslass Hail team at some point in that season, so that's cool to see. There's more Trick Room stuff here, obviously. Is there a way to deny Trick Room? Not if you lead Hat or Duraludon plus Amoonguss. Duraludon at least counters a lot of my, actually almost all of my opponent's team, but the thing is, I don't know if I want to max it early. I could lead Raichu Urshifu, actually, and just like Fake Out Wicked Blow into Dusclops. I definitely think we should have Duraludon in the back for this one. Actually, Lapras seems okay too, right? But Duraludon beats most of my opponent's Pokemon that want to max. Then I feel like Talonflame for just a Brave Bird could be valuable. Tsarena's definitely not it in this one. Lapras could make a lot of sense, actually. I actually think Lapras is probably better than Duraludon just because getting up Resonance is so valuable in a set like this, but I don't know. Okay, let's see. That last match was super, super fun, though. Yeah, it's just... After playing WBE this last week, I was like, I refuse to lose to Ally Switch Gothitelle again, so at least I learned a lesson or two from that. This is the lead I was expecting. Dusclops Amoonguss. So, I mean, I can just go for the Fake Out into Amoonguss, Wicked Blow play into Dusclops, which would be great. Does my opponent have a switch into Wicked Blow? Let's see. They know I'm banded, so they'll know that I do a ton. Wicked Blow also brought Amoonguss down to like literally 1 HP in that last game. They don't have any switch-ins here, so I don't see any downside to just Fake Out Wicked Blow. Like, Choice Band Urshifu does so much damage. It does so much damage. Yeah. I think this is fine. They could, I guess, Ally Switch, but if they Ally Switch, then Amoonguss might get knocked out by the double up. I need a Fake Out here to deny Spore. They don't Ally Switch. Or actually, sorry, Ally Switch could still be coming out. Okay, no Protect, no Switch Out. Nothing, no Max. Let's see if Banded KOs. You've got to be kidding me. That's literally like 1 HP, right? Oh my god. I wonder if it's Eevee to survive that, or... That's a little unfortunate, I gotta say, guys. A little unfortunate. Okay. Let's Volt Switch into Dusclops and Wicked Blow into Amoonguss. That is so unfortunate. I mean, I would think it's maybe Eevee to survive that, but... Oh... That feels so bad, because you're gonna Spore into the Urshifu slot too, yeah. Oh my goodness. That's a tilter. Because I think if we just pick up that knockout, Urshifu just beats my entire opponent's entire team. Now, I could have gone for Helping Hand Wicked Blow, but I think Amoonguss there was... it was definitely going for a Rage Powder. Yeah, given that you saw it happen after Fake Out. So it wasn't Sporing. So I could Helping Hand Wicked Blow, but I don't know. I want to do the calc afterwards. I guess you should be trained to survive Banded Wicked Blow, but I'd be surprised if you could survive that 100% of the time. I mean, at least I can go into Talonflame now. I should have Volt Switched into Amoonguss just to get more chip damage onto it to put it in Brave Bird KO range. That probably would have been better. I mean, I'm going to Brave Bird here into Amoonguss and just try to get the Wicked Blow off. That's unfortunate. That's so unfortunate, but it's still okay. Like, this is still winnable, but Trick Room going up against this team is pretty bad, and I think I led the best possible lead against it. And it's Koba. You hate to see it. I am going to actually quickly calc how much Urshifu is supposed to be doing here. It's a great Koba Berry right there. Nightshade. Probably a double up onto Urshifu. That would make a lot of sense. Yep. Oh. Let's see. I'm really curious how much I'm supposed to be doing against Dusclops, because I don't know the calc, so... For those of you that are curious, Choice Banded Wicked Blow on a crit, it's a guaranteed KO if you're max HP 4 defense. Now, if you're max HP, max defense, bold, it's a 12.5% to OHKO. So you can't EV to survive it 100% of the time, but I'm guessing my opponent's probably max HP, max defense. That would make a lot of sense. I can go out of a Raichu here at least. I mean, the upside is that I'm stalling out these the turns of Trick Room pretty well. But the downside is, even if they get one turn on the Trick Room, that's already pretty bad. There's only 2 left, but I can't protect much in the next turn. So here I'm leaning towards Fake Out Heat Wave, although I think if you're my opponent, you actually switch Amoonguss out into Dragalge and Bulldoze. So I wonder if I want to capitalize off that. I think I'm actually going to go for Brave Bird Volt Switch here. Okay, Amoonguss protects. I mean, that's also fine, I guess. These Pain Splits are brutal, though, because I just can't attack through the Dusclops. I needed to taunt there, maybe. Okay, at least I know the Wicked Blow calc there now. I am curious on the bulk there on Dusclops, but hard to see what we could have really done better, especially because my opponent was Koba Amoonguss as well. I guess I could have led Talonflame Urshifu and gone Taunt Wicked Blow turn 1. That might have been better. Now you Spore into Talonflame, I think. I can't protect with either Pokemon, so... There's really not much we can do here. This is the downside with using something like Urshifu. You really need to get the ball rolling if you take too much damage. Like, the healing on the Dusclops is the worst part. If it didn't have Pain Split, it'd be fine, but, like, what Dusclops isn't running Pain Split nowadays, right? Okay, I mean, at least we get Duraludon in now. I can, like, max... I don't even have max Darkness. That's the most frustrating thing. So I can't even KO the Dusclops here. It's just going to get another Trick Room up. So I need to wake up next turn with Talonflame, basically, I think. Hope for a wake up. Because I think I have the Lightning into the Duraludon. I could just hope for an early wake up and also just Heat Wave, Wormwind. If you're my opponent, though, I think you just go for the safe. Yeah, I think you go for the safe Rage Powder Trick Room. Get another Trick Room up. So maybe we don't max this turn. Like, don't waste the turn to max. Go for Taunt. Taunt Flash Cannon could work. I mean, Dragalge is going to be waiting for me in the back. Also, if Amoonguss just goes for Spore here, I get wrecked. So I think I have to cover for the option of it Sporing. Yeah. I'm just going to Wormwind to knock out Amoonguss here. Aw, that's just a brutal turn 1, but this calc makes me feel better, because it's like, if you are max HP, max defense, the majority of the time we're not KOing you. Which is crazy, like, that just shows how bulky Dusclops is, right? The fact you can survive that is nuts, because, like, that's probably the strongest attack from a non-max Pokemon that you could have in the game. This is why Dusclops is still valuable, right? Like, okay, they don't go for Rage Powder. Unfortunately, we stay asleep. That's actually, if we wake up there, actually, I think we'd be fine. Because then we taunt the Dusclops. You can't do anything. You can't get Trick Room up. Now my opponent gets Trick Room up and gets Dragalge in. So we needed a wake up there. I do think we had to KO. We could have gone for Draco there, but then what do I do the subsequent turn, right? Switch out into Raichu. It's kind of weird. So I mean, Dragalge probably comes in and it's still potentially winnable. I mean, I think you Bulldoze now if you're my opponent. Yeah. So I need maybe a crit Wormwind onto Dragalge. Or for my opponent to mess up, Bulldoze Wormwind into my Duraludon, and then I survive, and then, like, get Brave Bird and Wormwind off. But, yeah, I actually think if we get the taunt off there, maybe we're fine. I could have switched Talonflame out here into Raichu, because then I could Helping Hand, but I don't know. I think, yeah, in this matchup, if Trick Room goes up, it's just not looking good for us. The Koba Amoonguss made things tougher too. So I could have let Talonflame, because then I can at least taunt either Pokemon on turn 1. Like, Talonflame Urshifu is maybe the adjustment I make. Oh, they actually go for Pain Split. Okay, I'd rather see that. They go for, I mean, we don't have damage in the late game, though. Oh, they target Talonflame. Huh. Does this give us a chance? Probably not, because you can still double up onto Duraludon. Unless Wormwind crits here, Dragalge should survive. Yeah, even with the crit, I actually think it was surviving anyway. And now Policy is going to be activated. So Pain Split, Nightshade, Trick Room, Bulldoze is Dusclops' moveset, I'm sure. Yeah. I feel okay about how I play this. I probably should have... I mean, I didn't know that Urshifu calc, so that's good to know now. I'm curious if it's max HP, max defense. So, Talonflame Urshifu might have been a better lead. But then, if Trick Room goes up, I don't know. It's really hard to win if Trick Room goes up, I think. Maybe having Lapras would have been better. That also could have been the case. Unfortunately, I can't even Fake Out here, which just stinks. Yeah, I think this is a lost cause. I'm going to Helping Hand Steel Spike here. That'll KO Dragalge, but Duraludon's just going to... Dusclops is just going to win now. Like, that's why Dusclops is so good, right? Pain Split is nuts. And now with no more Cinderace for, you know, Max Darkness, no more Dragapult for Max Phantasm, no more... What else is there? Tyranitar for Max Darkness. With all those gone... Dusclops is... Yeah, and then Porygon 2 is removed now as well. I mean, Dusclops is just back to being a very, very premier Trick Room user. So, yeah. What we needed to do was... I don't know if we have, like, a super safe play. Like, because, like, with if I lead Talonflame... It's probably actually to lead Raichu Talonflame. Because if I lead Raichu Talonflame, I can Fake Out the Amoonguss turn 1 taunt Dusclops. And then switch Raichu out into Urshifu. Because we needed a Night Trick Room. And with the play that I made, if you're max HP, max defense, you know, 7/8 of the time you get Trick Room up. That is not a risk, a gamble that's worth it for me. Now, I didn't know that calc. I was thinking we would just get the guaranteed knockout. So I was like, oh, it's fine to go for this. But yeah, obviously not. So I think if I were to play against that exact same lead, if I lead Raichu Talonflame, what we go for turn 1 is Fake Out Amoonguss, taunt Dusclops. Next turn, switch the Raichu out into the Urshifu. Probably taunt into the Amoonguss. And then go from there. Because Wicked Blows will do a ton of damage to my opponent's entire team. He doesn't have great switch-ins. The problem is that we didn't really get too many off, right? And we're up against Wolfie's team for the third match here. So, let's see. Shutting down abilities is valuable, right? You get rid of Lightning Rod, so you can just lead the... Like, I think, like, Jolteon plus Weezing in the back or Weezing lead makes a lot of sense here for my opponent. Duraludon actually has a great time against this team, though. And I think, like, Duraludon, Urshifu, I think, are the two most important Pokemon to bring out against this matchup. So I want to lead Duraludon, because, like, Jolteon can't really do very much against it. Nor can the majority of that team, to be honest. Honestly, I kind of like Duraludon, right? Oh, you know what I could lead, which is super sick? Raichu, Urshifu, and turn 1, just Helping Hand Sucker Punch into Jolteon. I wonder if that's a KO. I don't know off the top of my head, so I don't want to risk it, but that'd be really cool. I think going Raichu, Duraludon, Talonflame, Urshifu is fine. We want to conserve Talonflame and Urshifu to have Ferrothorn answers in the late game. Tsareena doesn't really do much, especially because Politoed is probably like the least picked Pokemon on that team. Lapras has some value, but in a matchup where there's Weezing to cancel Lightning Rod, it's not worth it. So, what you don't want to do against Duraludon stuff is like, or sorry, against Weezing stuff is lead Pokemon that are very reliant on abilities, right? So like, Talonflame is a brutal lead here. It's great for my opponent if I lead it because you can just max Lightning safely turn 1. Sure, I could switch into Raichu, but, you know. It's going to be Jolteon Fish. Okay, that's fine. That's very fine, actually, because I can just fake out Wormwind turn 1. I think you probably would switch Dracovish out. I actually think Dracovish switching out into Weezing makes a ton of sense here. The question is whether I want to call that and go for a fake out Steel Spike onto that slot. I actually feel alright about that play. Because if we call it correctly, do we need to really play that risky turn 1? What's the alternative? Just getting damage off against Jolteon? Probably. You could obviously switch into Arcanine and Ferrothorn as well. Actually, yeah, why would you switch in Weezing here? Well, specifically to eat up the Dragon type attack turn 1, I guess. Safer play is to probably fake out into Dracovish, max, and just Wormwind into Jolteon. Yeah, I'll play it safer here. as much as I want to go for like a crazy cool read. There's the switch. Is it Weezing? Oh, it's Ferrothorn. Okay, yeah, that's fine then. Which means you have to Phantasm. It might be Phantasm into the Raichu slot, which would actually be really nice from my opponent. Like, that would be a nice play on my opponent's end. But I think I'd be okay with that, because then I get Urshifu in for free. And I can just Choice Band Sucker Punch Jolteon, which I think might be a KO. We have to keep in mind the late game here, though, because Scarf Dracovish is going to hurt. However, I think Banded Urshifu is going to hurt more, so what we should try to position ourselves is just to get Tailwind up and then sweep. Also, I'm curious how much Max Wormwind does here. If it's a 2-hit KO onto Jolteon, then I can just switch in Talonflame if Raichu faints here, which works out great for us. The fake out was a little too obvious, but I'm glad I didn't like commit too hard and Steel Spike into that slot. Because, like, yeah, why would you switch Weezing in there other than to ignore Lightning Rod? It doesn't even make sense to ignore Lightning Rod here. That's actually Phantasm into Duraludon. Okay, I don't mind that. Because I can just go... I mean, I think my opponent's going to Body Press next turn. I could see them going for Protect Body Press, for example. A lot of good damage on Jolteon. Yeah, that's a 2-hit KO. I do think here, if I'm my opponent, I'm Max Guarding and Body Pressing into Duraludon so I can Phantasm Duraludon one more time this subsequent turn. How fast is this thing? 108. I actually don't remember Jolteon's speed off the top of my head. You could Phantasm into the Raichu, so I don't want to switch Raichu out. Oh, so we could Volt Switch. I think we Volt Switch with Raichu. I like Volt Switch Knuckle here. Or Steel Spike to get a defense boost. Yeah, actually, let's get a defense boost. I'm reading into Jolteon Max Guarding here. Yeah, nice. Okay, that's pretty good, because we basically negate that defense drop. I Volt Switch out, go into Talonflame, and now I can click Tailwind. And this is what we want. Do I need to go into Talonflame? I could go out into Urshifu and just click Sucker Punch, right? I think Talonflame's probably better, though. Because it also, like, it scares away the Ferrothorn. Now, it has Assault. The Ferrothorn has AV, so I can't KO it, but yeah, I can just Tailwind now. Yeah, I get a Steel Spike boost. I'm just double checking Jolteon's speed. Yeah, okay, we should outspeed. We outspeed with the Duraludon after getting Tailwind up. Yep, there's Body Press. Okay, perfect. Because now I can just Tailwind Wormwind into Jolteon. Oh, you know what would be a sick play, actually? You switch Ferrothorn now out into... You switch Ferrothorn out into Weezing. I actually should read into that, I think. Jolteon shouldn't KO Duraludon, so I think we can actually switch Talonflame back out into Raichu. Yeah. Because what our Wincon is a late game Tailwind. And if Ferro switches out, you cancel Gale Wings, you max Lightning, you KO the Talonflame, and then I lose my main Wincon. Yeah. There it is. Good. This is just how you have to play around Weezing. You gotta anticipate that, basically. Yep, there's max Lightning. Okay, perfect. I wonder if that KOs us. That does not. Okay, nice. Alright, now we're in a really good spot. Because, like, Duraludon... I actually think Duraludon's one of the toughest Pokemon to go up against if you're using that Jolteon team. Because the Jolteon itself doesn't do much, and that's the main Pokemon that maxes on the team pretty much the entire time. So, yeah. We just want to cover all our bases there. It's, like, Ferrothorn's not going to do much, right? I think the best play you could make there is maybe switch Jolteon out into the Weezing to eat up the Wormwind, and then maybe get another Body Press off. But then you're stuck on the field with Ferrothorn Weezing, which doesn't do that much damage, right? So, I think we maneuvered our way around pretty well in this game. Ferro comes back out. We know that that is Assault Vest. I have a free Fake Out here, so I could Fake Out into Ferrothorn. Just Flash Cannon into Weezing. Fake Out. Yeah, I think that's fine. If you bring out Dracovish, I either KO you or I Volt Switch it, right? Or sorry, Nuzzle it. Now I just need to get Talonflame out. So I actually forgot it was Babiri Berry on the Weezing. Oh, that's still such good damage. Wow. And a special defense drop, which is fortunate because now Volt Switch maybe KOs that. As Weezing just dazzles. That's fine. Doesn't KO either. Ferrothorn flinches. I mean, I think Weezing here probably protects, but I think it's fine to cover the option of it attacking and just Flash Cannon here and Volt Switch into Ferrothorn. Yeah, the Volt Switch covers all our bases, because if we get Talonflame in, we click Tailwind, we get the Urshifu out, and just start clicking Wicked Blow. Crit Wicked Blow should just KO everything at this point. The game is still not won, though, because Weezing and Ferrothorn are so bulky, so we still have to play this right. But obviously it helps that, I used Wolfie's team previously, so having knowledge of the movesets means it's easier to play around, because having to guess Ferrothorn's moveset is always really scary. And this is a reason why it might be worth considering, like, putting on a ground-type attack on the Jolteon. It feels kind of troll because the ground-type attacks' base powers are super weak, but could have some value. Okay, so yeah, Weezing ends up going for the obvious Protect, but that's fine, because... like, I could Body Press there, but now I just get the Urshifu in for free. Unless you targeted the Raichu there. Well, there's no way, right? I think you're definitely Body Pressing into Duraludon. Yeah. I don't think... I mean, the Body Press damage would have meant that I could just click Heat Wave instead. Yeah, so Duraludon should go down here, but that's fine. Because now I get my offensive sweepers in. So I think I can just go into Talonflame now. Or even go out into Raichu and Fake Out. Maybe actually, yeah, we go into... Okay, if I bring in Talonflame, I can just Heat Wave though, right? No, but I need to set up Tailwind first and foremost. Does Crit Wicked Blow KO the Weezing from the range that it's at? I actually don't know. Okay, maybe we go out Raichu instead. That might have been a mistake. Because now Dracovish can come in and Vicious Rend us. Oh, I think I should have gone Talonflame. I don't know how much we actually do into Weezing. That was my fear. I mean, I could Fake Out Close Combat Ferrothorn here. Volt Switch into Weezing. And Wicked Blow is actually what I'm thinking of here. Pick up the KO onto that. That should definitely KO. Oh, they actually switch out. Okay, that'll secure the game up then, I think. Not necessarily, actually, if they crit into the Urshifu slot. This is still scary. I don't think Pharaoh one-shots here, though, right? So we should be fine. The reason I didn't bring out Talonflame there was because, like, I guess I could Heat Wave. I don't know how much Wicked Blow was doing into Weezing. I don't know that calc. But Dracovish is actually, in my opinion, the biggest threat, so getting that out of the way is big. However, I don't have great late game damage with the Talonflame, right? So, actually having Heat Wave here is really valuable. It's just body press. It's gonna go. Is that a KO? Is the question. Okay, it's not a KO. We're good then. Woof! That was close. And it was a crit too. Wow. Yeah, that was very close. We should be good now because we have Heat Wave. Yeah, and you can't protect in front of a Wicked Blow. We know Weezing has Dazzling Gleam, so I think it's fine to just Heat Wave and Wicked Blow into the Weezing here. I actually want to see how much this does because I actually think Weezing survives, which is why I switched out into Raichu initially. I think if you stay in with Weezing, okay, let's see. Well, we get the Heat Wave off, and this is why you run Heat Wave. Oh, that's a KO on Ferrothorn. Nice. Yeah, that is why you run Heat Wave, Talonflame, for anyone asking why this team has Heat Wave on it. Here's Wicked Blow. This is going to KO now, right? Yeah. Okay, well, now I can actually... I didn't want to calc during the match, but I'm going to calc afterwards. Choice Band, Wicked Blow. I think there's no... It's like max HP, max special defense, if I remember correctly, so... Yeah, it does 38 to 45%. So I think it was surviving before the Heat Wave damaged. However, because Heat Wave was a KO onto the Ferrothorn, I think bringing out Talonflame and just Heat Wave Wicked Blowing was fine. Although I guess then the Dracovish comes out. I feel like my opponent, the only play my opponent like shouldn't have done was switch into Dracovish there, because you want to conserve it. But I get why they switched out, right? But I don't think Weezing was going to faint from like a Volt Switch either, even with the special defense drop and terrain being up. So yeah. But I don't know. I mean, if anything, that shows how powerful like Ferrothorn is, because we had such a good early game. I feel like I predicted pretty much everything my opponent was going to do, but it still was kind of a dicey end game there. So that's, I mean, one of the downsides of using like more frail Pokemon like Talonflame and Raichu. They're not going to be carrying you in terms of late game offense. So you're putting all your eggs in the basket of like, for example, the Urshifu and the Maxmon, either Duraludon or the or the Lapras. Although Talonflame was actually really good in late game offensively because of the Heat Wave specifically. So that is the value of Heat Wave Talonflame. That's going to be it for this episode, though. Really fun set of games. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Thank you, as always, for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all soon. All right. Peace.